Jarrod, it is a true joy for you to virtually sit with us here today for our inaugural MoxieTalk via virtual style in the 21st century in the eyes of a global pandemic. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I appreciate it. You know, I want to mention something very quickly to the audience. You know, I'm a big believer, and those that watch the show pretty consistently know this about me. I'm a big believer in God winks and things that happen spiritually. I've known Jarrod for probably a little over 5 years, and it was a total, absolute, unbelievable set of coincidences how we met. I was having lunch with my mother in Louisville at the Cheddar's restaurant, and he was waiting tables there. And I was working for the Sigma Chi Foundation, which is the fraternity we belong to. And long story short, I just happened to have my card out, and he saw it, and he was waiting on us, and he said, "I'm a Sigma Chi," and so did I, and the rest is history. And so had he had another section, had he had another table one over, we would have never met. So there are things in life that happen for a reason, and we built a tremendous friendship from that moment. So thank you for being on MoxieTalk. I wanted to share that with the group. So what drives you to excel in your area of expertise? I mean, it's pretty gutsy. It takes a lot of moxie. That's why I wanted to have you on the program. You know, to voluntarily go into the military, then get out, then to go back in. You were stationed overseas. I mean, it wasn't a simple assignment. And then go off, you know, and start your own gig in the culinary arts. And anybody that's in that world knows that it can be very stressful. It can be very physically taxing. So what drives you to do all these things?
I think honestly, it stems from my childhood. My parents were in the restaurant industry growing up. They owned a couple of restaurants, and so I grew up in the business. Whenever I say grow up in the business, I mean I was the dishwasher and the guy that got to scrape all the gum off the bottoms of the tables. So you know, it was pretty. It was a pretty great start to my career as far as restaurants are concerned. But I grew up in it. I learned it from a young age, and I really, the thing that struck out most to me about it was the interaction with people, getting to meet people and getting to talk with people. And so, like, you know, the culinary side didn't come so much later. But you know, at first it was about meeting and interacting with different people, and you know, the thing about food, and I'll probably say this multiple times throughout this interview, is that, you know, it's one of the few things in life where you get to see instant gratification from the people that you're dealing with. You know, you can tell right away whether they like your food or not. So I saw that from a young age, and it just kind of stuck. It's funny because I have a little brother, and he wants nothing to do with the restaurant industry. So I don't know how he grew up differently. I think it's because he didn't really have to do dishes, scrape the gum off the tables. That was more my job. He just got to eat because he was younger. So he would eat and take a nap. That was his experience whenever we were growing up in the industry. So I think we both kind of came at it a different way. But it's always been a part of my life throughout college. Worked in bar scenes, front of the house stuff. So it's just always been there. It's always been kind of like that comfort food that you go back to whenever everything else isn't quite working out for you. I've tried to venture into different deals, but at the end of the day, it's just one of those. It's just that it was that feeling of going home, getting back into the restaurant.
So do you feel like you get energized when you're in that zone, as I call it, you know, in that where, you know, you've got 18 tables or whatever?
It's very refreshing. There's not too many jobs that I've done. Now I don't know all of them because I haven't done everything that there is to do in the world, but there's not too many jobs that I've done that where the pressure is that high. So for me, it actually helps me in a way deal with my anxiety. So, you know, whenever the pressure's mounting and tickets are coming in and everything's chaotic, for me, that's whenever I'm at my best. So I thrive in that atmosphere better, I think. So therefore, for me, it was always a great place to go to because I could manage my anxiety a little bit whenever the pressure was on. I could utilize my anxiety to kind of meet that pressure or meet those demands and rise to those occasions.
So in a way, it's therapeutic. Is that fair?
It is very therapeutic. Yes.